Hey everyone, this is Happy Wheels Cars and Stuff, and today we're going to be replacing my transmission filter in my 2006 F150. For this job, you're going to need a new transmission pan gasket, silicone RTV sealant, approximately 6 quarts of new transmission fluid, new transmission filter, a ratchet, 3-inch or 6-inch extension, 10mm socket, gasket scraper if you need to remove gasket material from the pan, gloves, safety glasses, a funnel, penetrating oil, brake cleaner, shop towels or shop rags. For starters, you're going to want to break the transmission pan bolts loose, preferably with a breaker bar if you have one. Once the bolts are broken loose, go ahead and remove the bolts the rest of the way. Be sure to leave at least 2 bolts still threaded over in the front of the vehicle so you can drain the fluid partially before taking the pan the rest of the way off. At this point, I've already partially drained my transmission pan and am removing the remaining bolts. Be sure to hold the pan up with one hand to maintain positive control while removing the last of the bolts. Now, lower the pan from the transmission and drain the rest of the fluid from the pan. Once finished draining the pan, be sure to take off the old gasket from the transmission. Now go ahead and take a look inside the pan. There should be a circular magnet attached to the inside of the pan. It may be covered with gunk or metal shavings. This is for collecting any metal debris and gunk that may accumulate within your transmission. You may also find a yellow plug. This is normal if this is the first time your transmission fluid has been changed in your truck. Now take out the magnet from the pan. Clean it up with a brake cleaner and a rag before reinstalling. If you are reusing the old pan, be sure to clean it up with some brake cleaner before reinstalling as well. Now go back under the truck and remove the old filter. Be sure to still have your oil catch under the truck as there will be fluid that flows out when removing the filter. Now take a towel or rag in your brake cleaner and clean up any residual fluid that is left in the housing. After cleaning the housing, take brake cleaner in your rags and clean off the pan bolts. Before installing your new filter, take a cap full of new transmission fluid, dab your finger in the cap, and rub it around the new filter's gasket to lubricate it. Now take your magnet and place it in your pan. Now go ahead and install your new filter. Take the RTV sealant and make a line around the inside of the pan. Once you're done with that, place your new gasket onto the sealant. Make sure that the bolt holes are aligned before pressing down the gasket. Now reinstall your transmission pan onto the transmission housing. Be sure that the flat side of the pan is toward the front of the truck as shown. Now thread a couple of bolts in to hold the pan while installing the rest of the bolts. Using the star pattern, tighten down the rest of the bolts as shown. Once you tighten all the bolts down, go to the engine bay and remove your transmission fluid dipstick. Now take your new transmission fluid and your funnel and begin pouring your new transmission fluid. After using 1 or 2 quarts of transmission fluid, take a second to look under the truck for any signs of leakage. If there is none, continue refilling. If there is, check the tightness of all your bolts and see if that resolves the leak. Now continue to fill up your transmission fluid. After adding about 3 quarts of fluid, take a second to insert the dipstick and check the fluid level. You're going to want the level to be a bit on the high side, so when you start the vehicle and cycle through the gears, the fluid will settle out into the system and be around the middle range after you're finished cycling. Continue refilling until 6 quarts are used, where the level is close to the full mark on the dipstick. Once you're finished refilling your transmission fluid, go ahead and turn on your truck and let idle until your coolant temp reaches the 1/4 mark. After the coolant temp is at the 1/4 mark, start cycling through your gears to help circulate the new fluid into the system. You want to cycle the gears about 3 to 5 times. Wait about 5 seconds between each gear change so the transmission can settle. After you are finished cycling, check for any leaks, and then your job is done. As always, thank you everyone for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content coming to the channel soon.